Hello, everyone. Hello from a very chilly day here in Georgia. We are going to be talking about prenuptial agreements today, which some people might consider cold. I'm Raluca, and I provide immigration, estate planning, and family services for my clients. And I'm here with Nina Clear, my office and marketing manager. We really appreciate your likes, comments, and shares as they help other people to see these videos. And if you have any questions, you can post them here or send us a private message.
First, would you let people know what a prenuptial agreement is?
Sure. It is also called a premarital or anti-nuptial agreement. It's a contract that people enter into before they get married that says what will happen with their property and debts if the marriage ends.
And they're enforceable in Georgia?
Yes, they are generally. They wouldn't be for the same reason other contracts wouldn't be. For example, fraud, deception, lying, duress, misrepresentation.
And is there also an unconscionability standard?
Yes.
Okay. And what does that mean?
That is a term of art in the legal field which says basically a reasonable person would find it so outrageous that it invalidates the prenup. Keep in mind, unconscionability is a very undefined standard that is up to the fact finder. So the judge is going to decide if a contract is unconscionable. And also, in this context, the term is used as in a different context, and it's a different standard than the one used in a commercial or business contracts.
Okay. So why don't people like prenuptial agreements?
I think because people think it suggests the marriage won't last. Before people get married, they want to be planning their marriage, talking about love and colors of bridesmaids, dresses, and not deciding what will happen to their belongings or money if the marriage doesn't last.
Okay. What's the importance of having one?
One of the biggest factors of why marriages end is arguments over money. I explain to my clients that a prenuptial agreement requires that all assets, earnings, and liabilities, debts of each person to be listed out. Therefore, it can be a great start to a healthy long-term relationship. It's a great start to discuss each other's financial situation. Plus, a good prenuptial agreement, with a good prenuptial agreement, there won't be future arguments about any property or debts that either party brings to the marriage, including if you want to leave something to others. For example, if you want to leave something to your children.
Okay. And I know a lot of the the different information I looked at said since there's so many second marriages and everything that they're more useful now than they were. But are they for the wealthy only?
No, not at all. If you bring assets, debts, or have children from another marriage, I really highly recommend having one. It can also be used if you know you are going to get an inheritance, for example, to decide what will happen with that.
Okay, so when you write one up for your clients, do you write it for both parties?
No. I write the agreement for my client. It would be a conflict for me to represent both people. I highly recommend that the other party hires their own attorney to at least review the agreement before they sign it, or if necessary, to negotiate if that needs to happen.
Okay. And are they invalid if both parties don't have an attorney?
No, the courts look at if each person had the opportunity to hire an attorney. If they choose not to, but they could have, that is what is considered.
Okay. And when should you have it written, reviewed, and signed?
Certainly not on the day of the wedding, which could also, by the way, be considered duress. I would do it at least a month or two. Some people suggest 6 or 12 months before the wedding, so that each party has the time to review it with their counsel.
Okay. And are there any special considerations for prenups in Georgia?
Yes, the federal government has mandated that with 401k accounts, the spouse is the sole beneficiary unless the spouse signs a form waiving their ownership. Maybe they both agree to have their children as beneficiaries for the 401k. So changing this beneficiary for the spouse cannot be done in a prenup agreement.
Okay. And what about if one spouse doesn't disclose everything? Say they don't tell about all of their assets or even all their debts.
Well, that may cause the contract to be unenforceable, but usually other factors are also considered by the court in these situations.
Okay, and what about alimony? So where this one spouse pays the other, it's not child support, but it's paid to the spouse, or attorney fees. Can you address those in the prenup?
You can, but most courts have said they are unenforceable.
What do you mean? In what way is it unenforceable?
You cannot contract away paying spousal support or set a certain amount away before the fact, or legal fees in a prenup according to the prevailing court decisions.
Okay, could you decide child support in a prenup?
No, never. Georgia courts have said that neither child support nor child custody can be decided in a prenup agreement.
Okay, so what about when you get married, you don't have very many belongings, but you do sign a prenup because you just want to lay it all out, and then your circumstances change?
They can become enforceable as well if the circumstances change so much that it would not be fair and reasonable to enforce it.
Okay, so it could be unenforceable then if things change. And then what about if you don't? Yeah. What about if you don't have a prenup because for whatever reason, and then you win the lottery? What can you do then?
If the circumstances change during the marriage and you don't have a prenup, then you can always create a postnup. That's another agreement that we're going to talk about on Friday. So thank you for watching today. Thank you for your likes and shares, and we'll see you next time.